going on here?
What's up, Will?
Is he drinking behind the wheel?
We'll show you how to do it.
What's up, Josh?
Oh, you know,
How this stuff
we're
runs.
just hanging out.
There you go.
Now you go over to starting grid.
Oh, you ready to go over starting grid?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Get it pulled up here. Alright, we got Brandon Moore on the pole. We got Mr. Joe Stipe there, P2. Matthew Hunsaker, P3. Philip Bridgman, P4. James Hudson, P5. Jaden Sanchez, P6. Justin Steves, P7. Richard Johns, P8. Tyler Myers, P9. Jason Pearson, P10. And then outside the top 10, we got Chris Campbell starting at P11. Skylar Sixton, P12. Mr. Pete Woodrum, P13. Aaron Bradford, P14. And Mr. Robert Amaro, P15. We're waiting on
15.
one or two here.
Yeah, 15 drivers tonight here to take on the season finale for Thursday nights.
Yeah, we're doing our warm-up lap here. Will, what's your prediction for the night here at the Old Atlanta Layout?
Prediction as far as race winner or just race-wise? I mean,
Race-wise, you think it's going to be slick for these fellas tonight?
Oh, most definitely. Atlanta always seems to be a slick track for any cars, any condition. That just one of those tracks, especially Old Atlanta. You know, it never ceases to amaze about how slick it can be. So for sure, it's going to be a slick one, especially if the temperatures are right for it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I think that bottom line, according from what I saw in practice, I think that bottom line is going to be really good.
Now the bottom is normally the line to go around Old Atlanta, and it might be the treacherous one. Just have to wait and see. As pace car getting ready to pull off here. Everybody doubled up, lined up, the first and only pace lap here.
Green flag.
And we're green.
I think Hunsaker might have spun his tires there on the initial start, or maybe not really, just didn't get a good get up and go.
Yeah,
his launch just wasn't there.
Yeah, I was just looking at that and it just looked real odd there.
It kind of stacks up everybody on the inside lane there to get up and go on that initial launch, so Brandon Moore to a small hole shot lead at the moment. Everybody squabbling for second behind. You got Bridgman, Joe Stipe, and Sanchez in the double deuce. Coming around the outside. Richard Johns in the 17 car.
Looks like Mr. Jaden there going to the inside there, trying to ride momentum out.
Oh, for sure. And everybody is caught back up to Brandon.
Oh, we got
so
there.
Philip taking it around the outside, way up there. So he's all the way upstairs, getting that momentum, that high lane momentum around the outside.
Now, Will, do you think that high line's going to play a key role tonight?
It could. As much as it's already being used, it's surely going to get rubbered in probably awful quick. So it is a good possibility you see some drivers taking advantage of it early on here. Some drivers having to already back up that bottom lane a little bit. We see with it's like the chopper cam here. So as going around the outside, you're able to work the throttle more, be in the throttle a little bit more than you would on that bottom lane. You're having to work the pedals probably a little bit more so than you would if you're on that outside lane, on that inside lane, working those pedals. So now Richard trying to go around the outside, or he does go around the outside of Brandon, so now Myers and Brandon going at it, and then JP looking to the outside now as well, so
it looks like that bump is starting to play a little bit of a role too. Some of these guys on these few laps on these tires here.
And just a tad bit of a roll at the moment. We're only 6 laps in, so maybe around lap 15 you might start to see the guys who just kind of slowly fading back ever so slightly will press on the attack maybe. So Joe has fallen back a few seconds, or a couple of seconds, 2.5 seconds. He has fallen down to 8th place. Do what, Josh? Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm wondering if that little bobble he had there got the tires a little too hot.
Oh yeah, we saw he had a slide a moment, just a couple of laps ago at a turn number 2, so that could have been the case. Anytime you have a slide and you're going to heat the tires up more than normal, they're going to be a little bit aggro with you for a couple of laps, or even a few more laps, and not get cooled off properly. They're still going to be a bit overheated, so the car is not going to act just exactly to right. Ten laps into the race, Bridgman leads over Johns at the moment. Myers in 3rd. That's the top 3. Pearson and Moore round out the top 5.
Good racing's going on so far. I can keep me tied up going through looking at everything.
Oh yeah, Richard up here taking it to the field. He's passing Bridgman for the lead. Not sure if it's just extremely good short run pace at the moment by these 3 competitors up in the top 3, Johns, Myers, and Bridgman. We know Myers and Bridgman can normally have some really good short run speed, just don't know for how long they can control it before the tires completely start to fall to the wayside. Now we start to see Bridgman kind of starting to fall back just a wee bit now. Now into 4th position, being passed up just a little bit. What is up, Ty? How you doing? Summer school. I know I had to take summer school one time. It was so annoying. It's like, man. But, you know, one of those things. So Myers and Johns has a little bit of a lead over Pearson at the moment, but Pearson should still possibly maybe have the toe of Myers. So those 3 have about a 2 1/4 lead over Bridgman in 4th position. Then Moore in 5th rounds out the top 5. Jimmy Hudson in 6th position. Aaron Bradford in 7th. Jaden Sanchez down to 8th. He's lost a couple of positions. Joe Stipe in 9th. Christopher Campbell and Matthew Hunsaker dueling it out for 10th position as Hunsaker falls a little bit further down the totem pole. Now we're starting to see
back there. And guys are starting to swap it out now.
Kind of like I said a while ago, now we're starting to see it right around that lap 15 mark. Some of the short run pace drivers are now starting to get caught up with the drivers who may have either just decided to save tire or just kind of cruising at the moment. Not full beans, not full press. Attack, I guess you could say. Philip kind of getting it wrong and getting up in the wall on the exit of turn number 2. Just a short time of go, so gotta be careful. You can't, you can't flirt with disaster forever, but you sure can try sometimes, I suppose.
Some of these guys working the high line again.
Myers catching up to Johns now. That could be a position or a battle for the lead ensuing. Like you said a while ago, still battles all throughout the field. Robert Emerald not able, he is out of the race. I guess something happened shortly after the green flag, but 7.5 seconds separates the 14 drivers in this field from first to 14th. Justin Steeves rounding out the 14th position. Pete Woodrum in 13th. Matthew Hunsaker in 12th. Skylar Sixton 11th. Philip Bridgman 10th. Not much has changed in the top 5. Bridgman keeps falling a little bit further back now, getting passed up by Skylar for 10th position. I could just imagine how bumpy and how annoyingly just rough this track can be with these Gen 7 Cup cars, Josh. Racing at New Atlanta and then coming here to race at Old Atlanta. I can only imagine how vastly different it is. One you're racing a plate race, the other you're racing basically to do a tire conservative race, so to speak.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, to do Atlanta, I see why a lot of the guys like it. Because you can, barely lift. You can keep it wide open. A lot of guys like going wide open. I actually am more on the old school side to Atlanta, even though it's really bumpy. I like to have them lift more and using more throttle control, along with being conservative for the tires. But I mean, I like both aspects of it. I just happen to have more luck with the newer Atlanta, backing in the wins per se. But I like the older one because it's more of a challenge and endurance style racing, and it's just bumpy. It'll wear you out. And to me, I think it's more fun.
Yeah, Atlanta was one of my favorite tracks at one point, and then they went and redesigned it and changed it, configured it, however you'd like to say it, and really messed up the track in a lot of racing purist minds and hearts and fans and everybody. But that's the way it's got to be sometimes. Pearson has moved up into second position, taking second away from Myers and closing in on Richard. That is the battle for the lead going on at the moment, are the top 3. Just a slight change going on there. Oh, most definitely. Sanchez has gotten back up into 5th position. He has passed Jimmy. And now Brendan has passed up Myers, so Christopher Campbell moving on up throughout the top 10 into 8th position now. Him and Skyler were having a tussle for 8th and 9th position. I think that's still going on. What happened, Josh?
I think we had a little scuffle with the wall there in 1 and 2. It was like somebody went up a little too far or something.
Richard, yes. Like I was talking about earlier, how much do you want to flirt with disaster? I think Richard might have nuffed it just ever so slightly on the entry, and then the car just kind of sucks into the wall. You know how that can happen, Josh. You just rim ride a bit too close, and it just drags you into the wall. It's happened to me on many occasions. I know it's probably happened to you too. It's an easy thing to do. You can get complacent, definitely. So compliant with having your entry into the turn 1 or 2 or 3 and 4, however you do it, and you just miss your entry ever so slightly. You think you hit it right, but you don't, and you just kind of drag yourself into the wall. So Pearson now taking over the lead from Richard, but now fighting back to the outside is Brandon Moore going down the back straightaway. He will now retake the lead and looks like lead this lap.
Sheesh, where the hell did he come from? He was pouring the coal on.
all that tire conservation, that he was doing for the first, 13 to 16 laps, maybe, could be where that came from. As we now see Myers, he's now falling down the totem pole to 5th position. I think Jimmy might roll up on him soon, so now Richard falling down to 3rd. He led for a good 10 laps there, Josh?
Yeah, oh yeah. I think he's gonna fall in line there behind JP and just kind of ride behind him there and see if they can catch Brandon and stay within striking distance.
Fuel mileage tonight, 38 to 44 laps, I do believe. So that's the lifeboat that we're looking at for fuel mileage. So in about another 10 laps, Josh, we should start seeing pit stops happen.
Oh yeah, definitely. Do you think these guys are gonna run to the max they can, max laps on their fuel runs, or you think they're gonna come in and at the end of their tire run and maybe short pit per se and try to set up for the last part of the race?
I think we will see our normal pit cycles if it keeps playing out like it is at the moment, as far as our normal list of characters to either short pit or go long like normal. So, and we normally know who those list of cats are. Brandon Moore normally tries to go as long as he can. Normally, just about. Justin Steves tries to do that too. We normally have our list of players who try to go long, and then we have our short speed takers, right? The drivers with the short speed, they normally try to short pit. So Jaden now moving up into 3rd, passing Richard, who keeps kind of flirting with that wall in 1 and 2. Not so much in 3 and 4, but he's really rim riding more so in 1 and 2.
Do we have a crosswind coming out of 2?
That's a good possibility.
Let me check here. See if we got one. Well, we do. We got a 9-mile-an-hour crosswind there. Shouldn't be enough to make a difference, but maybe it is playing key.
Richard fighting back against Sanchez, not trying to just roll over and dive for 3rd position.
Yeah, he's definitely putting up a fight, that's for sure.
Track temperature ain't all that bad either. It's only 88 degrees track temp, so it's not as slick as I initially was going to think, but still You know, like I said, cars racing out here on this track, it's going to be some type of slick. It may not be, you know, the slickest ever, but it's still going to be a wee bit slick. But the cars should still feel pretty planted. With it being only an 88 degree track temp, it's
Yeah,
not,
definitely.
you know, anything in the hundreds or anything like that. So they should still be a bit more controllable than, like I said, if the temperature was like skyrocketed or something. So Bradford even kind of flirting with the wall a little bit in 1 and 2. So Richard's not the only one having flirtatious moments with the wall.
Yeah, more tires when you go up on the high line, man. You gotta be, it's gotta be precise on that.
Yeah.
If not, you know, any wrong move, and you're either gonna suck up into the wall, bounce off of it, or you're gonna suck the tail around, and then you're gonna be drifting it and possibly collecting other cars with you. So,
So Matthew
tough up there.
Hunsaker and Skyler are the first two short pit takers here.
We'll see how this plays out.
So
This might actually,
yeah,
you know, change the game for some of these fellas.
it's about 4 laps at least from where I initially thought any other regular pit stops would start occurring. So
Well, Hunsaker does. He likes to be real aggressive with the track. He likes to attack the track. So that's kind of normal, I guess. But I don't know. 4 to 5 laps too early. I might be rough on the fuel end of
ooh,
the strategy there.
close battling between the 17 and 22. That is still for 3rd position.
And Hudson's right
Jimmy
there.
Hudson.
He's looking to
Yep.
pass.
Brandon Moore has opened up his lead to 2.5 seconds over Jason Pearson. While this tussle goes on for the final step of the podium, only 36 laps completed. We are in currently, so we are just over, or just under 100 laps to go. 2.5 seconds is the lead for Brandon Moore to Jason Pearson. Richard Johns is 4.25 back with Jaden Sanchez right there with Jimmy Hudson right there with him. Christopher Campbell in 6th position. Tyler Myers 7th. Philip Bridgman 8th. Joe Stipe 9th. And Justin Steves will round out the top 10 in 10th position, of course. So, you know, Skyler and Hunsaker have really been in the pits a long time. I know it still says pit icon next to their name, but
Yeah, maybe he brushed the wall, had some unforeseen damages. Maybe.
Skyler 4 laps. I think Hunsaker's going to be 5, maybe 6 when it's all said and done. So yeah, that definitely proves that it's unscheduled. There was something picked up along the way that we did not catch. As Sanchez gets by Richard finally, and for 3rd position now, Richard under fire by Hudson. Hudson going to the high side now. He was looking underneath for a good minute, but now going around the outside. Christopher Campbell now coming into this fray, trying to look for a spot inside the top 5. There's only 5 spots for 5 drivers, so
that Richard's in, Bridgman's in.
he can do away with the track temperatures and all that other stuff, the humidity and all that, please, if you don't mind.
I gotta figure out how he does that. I know he set it up before, but then he stepped out.
Gotcha.
I'll wait for him to come in. So I don't want to mess up the stream, and then I'll be the dodo bird that ruined it. Hudson's making a last second charge before pit stops, I'm guessing.
Well, that's the best thing really to do is to get all the good you can get off the tires, if there is any left whatsoever. You know, the last couple of laps of a stint truly needs to be not really qualifying laps, but really the best laps you can get out of your race car before you pit. You know, attack that pit lane entry. You know, don't speed, but just kind of attack it if you can. Get all you can get. Hopefully you can gain a little bit of time on your competitor in front and build that gap for the competitor behind you. There's so many ways to mess up getting onto pit road here at Atlanta. Like I just said, speeding, or you could kind of lock up and kind of spin out, or just kind of keep cooking the speed and overshoot pit road. There's so many ways to make a mistake here.
Oh yeah, I've done them. I've locked them up and hit the barrels. I've tapped a brake, one too many times and lost control and did donuts going into the pits, and I've even just lifted off the throttle and then just nose first into the wall. Like, yeah, it's very it's very technical down on the apron trying to get in the pits here at Atlanta. So you can't just send it.
Yeah, it's very similar to Texas, getting onto the pits at Texas, or maybe Las Vegas, perhaps, to kind of equalize, to kind of compare the all the mile and a halves, how difficult it is to get onto pit road. So we might see, depending on how the pit stops flow for everybody,
Right.
we might see two more stops for everybody. Just all depends, like I said, on the fuel mileage everybody's truly able to get, and etc. So Richard John slicing and dicing his way up through the field with those fresh Goodyear Eagles.
Look who's P1 right now, leading the field.
Yes, indeed. Justin Steves. He's got Aaron Bradford right behind him, a second and a quarter back. So, like we said, not surprised at all. And these drivers able to go maybe 48 laps possibly, so... So now, for the most part, just about everybody getting back up to speed that have made a pit stop so far. There's only 2 drivers left to make a pit stop, to our assumption. Joe Stipe is pitting again. Bradford is in the pits now. No, I think that's Justin. Justin and Bradford both in the pits.
And this should cycle us around, right?
Yes.
You want to call her?
So now Brandon Moore back in the lead over Richard Johns and Philip Bridgman. Jaden Sanchez and Jason Pearson. That is the top 5 at the moment. Christopher Campbell just outside the top 5 by 2 seconds. 2.5 seconds. Tyler Myers, 7th position. Jimmy Hudson, 8th. 9, might as well say 9.5 seconds back. Justin Steves comes out 20 seconds back in ninth position, and Aaron Bradford 24 seconds in 10th position. Pete Woodrum, the first car, 1 lap down. Joe Stipe, 2 laps down, and Skylar Sixton, 3 laps down at the moment. So, as Michael Jackson would say, ABC 1, 2, 3, or the Jackson 5. Anyway, lap 50, or 50 laps complete out of 134.
I think old Richard's gonna stay in tow behind Brandon there and try to stay within that second range. That way he can try to get a good pace the first half of this fuel or tire run on after this pit stop.
Yeah, it should just be one more pit stop. I miscalculated there a little bit. I did math a little bit wrongly, but it should only be one more pit stop now. I said 2 a while ago, but should only be one more pit stop, and that should be around between maybe, let's say, 96 to 104, Josh, maybe somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah,
So
I was thinking between 90 and 105, but yeah, that works. That's still within that mathematical range. Because I know whenever I was looking at the during practice when these guys were practicing there, I was looking at the layout. I was thinking 40, 80, 120 if it were me trying to pit. And if I was going to stretch it, it would be 45, 45, you know, like 105, maybe 110. And then do like
yes, sir.
20, and then try to do like a quick 20-lap shootout, you know, on freshies. But sometimes the short run gamble late in the race is, you know, not very good. Because you never know what's going to happen. It's a big deficit to make up with 20 laps to go. We got Hudson applying the pressure on old Mr. Myers up there for P6.
Brandon Moore is still in the lead of the race, still in control of the lead of the race. Top 3 has not changed. In fact, top 4, I don't think has changed. Pearson in 5th position. Myers in 6th. Jimmy Hudson 7th. Christopher Campbell 8th. Steebs 9th. And Bradford still in 10th. So nothing really much changed too much. Campbell running up on Hudson, though, I do believe. So slowly but surely, Hudson on the back of Myers. One of the closest battles we have on track at the moment. Myers, Hudson, Campbell.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good 3-car battle here for P6. It's gonna be fun here. Who's gonna use the fresher tires and who's gonna be patient and just give up the position and set up for the long run.
Exactly, and you think out of these 3, one of those drivers that you just listed about doing that's either going to be Hudson or Campbell truly the most, because we've seen the short run speed that Myers has. Sanchez getting around Bridgman for 3rd position.
Yeah, Hudson's still He's not trying to press the issue. Oh, we got one in the grass down there.
Who could that might be? Archer.
We're gonna check to see what happened there.
Oh, that's Richard.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
coming off of turn number 4, he just gets crossed up, has a moment. The car has a twitch. Coming over that bump like you've talked about, that turn 4 bump.
Yeah.
He just hits it. I think he was going to get tight, and he tries to back out the corner a little bit, and in doing so, he gets back on the steering, overcorrects a little bit.
Oh,
That's just, it is. These Gen 7 Cup cars just hate all those movements with the wheels so frantically. Richard was having such a good run. That good run coming to such a tremendous end this evening, as that car is going to go on the rollback, and he is out of the race. Yes, so no fast repairs here in the B&R Cup Series this season. So that's a tough break. That's a heartbreaker, because he could have possibly had maybe a race-winning car, perhaps, if not a top 5, maybe a podium position car for sure.
Oh, yeah.
As Jimmy Hudson getting around Tyler Myers for 5th position.
Oh, Hudson's running down Pearson. We'll see if he's gonna battle him or if he's just gonna ride for a while, because he rode behind Myers there for what, 4 or 5 laps before he actually made a pass.
Yes. So almost hitting that halfway mark of this race. Almost there. In a couple of laps we will be. Brandon Moore still in control, in the lead of this race over Jaden Sanchez by 3 seconds. Philip Bridgman in 3rd, 7 seconds back. JP 4th, but he's under fire by Jimmy Hudson in 5th position. Myers going to be coming under fire by Christopher Campbell in 7th position. And that is our closest battles at the moment on track. That battle, 4th, 5th, 6th, slightly heating up, kind of turning into an F1 style battle. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. So Jaden has kind of stabilized at 2 1/3 to 3 seconds back to Brandon. Pete Woodrum 1 lap down, Joe 3, and Skyler 3 as well. So Joe and Skyler on the same lap as one another, but Pete, if anything was to happen, he is currently the first car 1 lap down, but Aaron Bradford is in the danger zone of going a lap down to the race leader, Brandon Moore, at the moment.
Oh yeah, Will. It's your favorite time, brother. You ready?
Oh, yes, sir. Crank it up segment during our race at the moment, so hopefully everybody will enjoy.
There we go. look how them cars are dancing around coming out of the pole. Oh, somebody scraped the hole. Oh, that's Brandon riding on motorcycle. P3 all the way back to P7. Them guys are really racing it out.
Yes, indeed, Josh. 6th, 7th, going at it. Myers and Bridgman. Bridgman having a moment. I think he's pitting, so no, he's not. Okay, my bad. He just kind of fell drastically. He could have brushed the wall. He fell off the pace of Myers drastically after Myers passed him up. So I thought he might have just decided to come back down pit lane, but no, he just, like I said, could have had a moment. So, like I said a while ago before we went to the cutaway, Bradford was in the danger zone and going a lap down. He is now. Justin Steves is kind of in the danger zone, that realm of, lap downness, kinda. It's closing in. He can hear the Jaws music going a lap down. So, if he's watching the stream or listening to the stream while racing, he's probably saying, "Shut up, Will."
Yeah, definitely. No, he is.
So, Brandon Moore has pulled out 2 more seconds on Jaden, so it's opened up to 4.5 seconds. Jason Pearson, Mr. Consistent, Mr. Championship winner, because all Jason had to do was start the race, from my knowledge, and he had the championship in the bag. Because not enough cars in the field to make up the deficit, which I believe Campbell was P2.
Yes.
So, unfortunately, if we would have had maybe a 30-car field and Pearson maybe got wrecked from the initial start or something like that, magically, miraculously happened, and Campbell would have probably got the championship if circumstances, right, Josh? But don't see those circumstances happening. So, like I said, all JP really needed to do, I do believe, was start the race. That has happened, and I do believe JP is our champion for the Thursday night Bearded Bear Customs. Wouldn't it be something if you sponsor the series and you could win the series you sponsor?
Right, yeah.
That would have been something. Coming from the sponsor man himself, Christopher Campbell, but just coming up one position shy. Hey, that's better than not. That's just goes to show the consistency you had throughout the season. There is Philip pitting a little bit earlier than I would have expected. That's almost in the time you expected, Josh. So.
Well, it's still.
It's still relatively, yeah.
Than what I expected, but maybe he's trying to do
the ultimate undercut. Yeah.
An undercut here and then drive it to the end on the other one. So I don't know. To me, the car's going to be really light. It's going to be really low on fuel. You're going to have really worn out tires. I don't think. I don't know. It's gonna be rough.
And it's gonna be kind of difficult too, because how far he was already off the pace. He's gonna be 2 laps down here, so it's gonna be difficult. I don't know if he's gonna truly be back on the lead lap by the time it cycles out or not. Just because of, like I said, how far down he was already at to begin with. Before he made that pit stop, he was 27, 28 seconds down. So,
Right.
Campbell and Hudson going at it severely. they're exchanging blows like bar stools going across each other's noggin. So,
Oh yeah, they duking it out.
and that's not even for the final spot of the podium either. That's just for 4th position.
And boys are there to race, so that's what they gonna do. They gonna race. They're gonna race like it's the last race. So, and that's cool. They're putting on a hell of a show for the finale.
So Brandon Moore has 5.5-second lead over Sanchez. 90 laps complete. Pearson still rocking that 3rd position. Campbell trying to reel in Pearson, now taking 4th away from Hudson. Myers and Steves 6th and 7th. Steves, last car on the lead lap, and for sure in the danger zone finally now. Being a lap down. Brandon, he's somewhat there, but hey, Troy, how's it going yourself? It's so far 90 laps complete, caution-free race so far for the Thursday Bearded Bear Customs season finale over here on the Thursday side of things. Everything, going pretty swimmingly, pretty well, pretty, I'd say all right. Brandon Moore now making his pit stop. That will put Jaden Sanchez in the race lead.
Let's see who tries the ultimate gamble. Do you go for the 2-tire trick now, or do you wait and hope for the caution?
Well, I mean, you could, if you're Justin Steves, you could definitely maybe gamble and make up some type of ground somehow or another, maybe. But you're definitely going to go long if you're Justin and see what you can get, hopefully. And Justin will definitely be the person, I think, that would possibly push it to the limit of going however long it may be to that lap 100 or who knows mark. So
Yep. Campbell just came in the pit now, so Steves is your leader. So we'll see how long Steve stays out.
Yes, Troy, have to agree with you. I believe we got 2 more races on the Saturday night side of things to see how they handle. So hopefully they go smoothly as well. So, I mean, it's Atlanta and Michigan, I believe. So how much more smoothly can you get?
Can't get any smoother than that. Steve's on his
Even
pits now.
So Bradford takes over the lead for a lap. One would assume it's going to just be a lap here. I kind of saw Justin going a little bit more, but I suppose he wasn't just able to. Fuel mileage tonight, not quite completely there like I thought it was, but it's okay, nevertheless. So, Jaden was able to eke down that deficit by a few seconds, but not enough severe, to take the fight to Brandon. Brandon still has a might as well say a 3:10 to Yuma lead.
Yeah, definitely. I like that.
So, Christopher Campbell now in third position over Jason Pearson. So, wow, that's definitely one to watch there between Campbell and Pearson, coming down to the final 34 laps to decide who it will be to be the final step of the podium.
Well, Jaden's still holding steady at 3 seconds.
Oh man, so yeah, this race has been really good. If you like long green flag stretches, caution-free runs, at the moment, still 30, what is it, 32 laps, 34
Yeah.
laps, something, 32 laps to go, so still anything available to happen in the wide world of motorsports. I'm surprised we didn't get a caution earlier whenever Richard just destroyed the front stretch retaining wall.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised about that myself. I wonder
Because
if it's
the car,
he towed.
yeah, he towed really quickly, so, and the car, by the time the car dropped significantly enough speed, to do anything drastic, it was already down in the infield, right? So it was already down on the football field, so to speak. So, not really seeing any cause or concern as far as cars really kicking out sideways or anything. Like we said earlier, it's not too slick of a track this evening. It ain't too hot to make it too slick, so it's almost just right conditions for it to, like I said earlier, for the car to just be planted. We haven't really we've seen more tight mistakes or like tightness issues than really loosey-goosey than I think anything.
Oh,
7 cars on the lead lap. Myers is the final driver on the lead lap. Sanchez just under 3 seconds now. Don't know if that's going to open back up or close up, or it's kind of almost stabilized there, just under 3 seconds. Christopher Campbell in third position, taking that over from Jason Pearson, I do believe, under the pit stops, the last pit stop by. So Pearson in 4th position, Hudson 5th, Myers getting by Bridgman for 6th position. Steves, oh, yes, so 7 cars on the lead lap. Justin Steves, first car 1 lap down with Aaron Bradford in 9th position. So 2 cars 1 lap down. Pete Woodrum 2 laps down. Joe Stipe 3 laps down. Skylar Sixton, Richard Johns, Matthew Hunsaker, and Robert Amaral are out of this race this evening with 30 laps to go. This is the B&R Bearded Bear Customs season finale for the Thursday side of things, bringing it to a close this season, putting the final notes down on the chapter to close it out and start a new chapter in the next coming handful of weeks. So Philip Bridgman going to be the first driver in the danger zone of going a lap down again. The next car 1 lap down. Closest battle on track. Don't really have a battle on track. I mean, we do. We have Campbell and Pearson. That's kind of the closest battle on track, but they have some traffic in between them, and it's almost an F1 style battle, Josh. So it's not really a battle, as Bridgman goes a lap down to the race leader. That will be 6 cars on the lead lap, and Tyler Myers is the next one to be, if it was to be, the next one a lap down. To be or to not to be, that is the question. I didn't know we were going to throw Shakespeare in the race tonight, but that happened.
Right.
So 3 1/4 second lead is the lead over Moore and Sanchez. Campbell still 18 seconds back, holding station there in 3rd position. Pearson not able to run down or catch Campbell because of the differential in tire between the traffic around him and Campbell. So that's kind of putting up a threat towards running down his maybe hopes of maybe finishing on the podium if there were any, but normal top 5 consistency run out of JP, I'd have to say. JP normally gets all he can get, whether it's a top 5, somewhere in that top 5, whether it be a 3rd place, a 4th. You just never can tell with JP. As long as he can stay out of the wars, stay out of all the trouble of everybody else, he's gonna normally be in the top 5. So now 25 lap to go mark here. This race has eventually flown by. It will, once everybody gets spread out and the pace gets set by everyone. You don't have to do none of that eye pacing.
Right. Well, hello.
Oh, Bradford having a moment out of turn number 2 a little bit ago.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that wasn't right now. That was just that was the last lap by.
Yeah,
But
he saved it. He chased it all the way down there.
Yep. Had a great save though. Great car control by Bradford. Now Tyler Myers definitely about to be put a lap down by the race leader. Brandon Moore is there.
Oh, Myers. He's definitely in danger.
Oh yeah. The Muffin Man has arrived. What are you looking forward to next season, Josh?
More racing actually. Just all around racing. The competition's getting more and more fierce, which is great. And I know Brian's been looking for that, and we've all been wanting to see it. And I want to see more strategies play out. We're starting to get, our long green flag runs. We can already run races with no cautions, which is great. I want to see more. I'd like to see more battling on track, from first place to last place, and I want to see more mix-ups, more strategy playing out. That's what I want to see. I know some of the guys, they're talking about, schedule change, let's do something different, and then we throw something out, something different, and then they don't like the schedule, and it's like, well, you can't can't do the easy stuff. And that's coming from me. I'm not a road course racer. I'm not very good at it. I will do it if it's a track I feel comfortable at. Out of all the road courses, I love Watkins Glen because I use third and fourth gear, and I'm pretty consistent there. But I'm slowly getting better. You know, I'm running Spa with these guys. I do a mile with them. 24-hour Daytona. I did that 3.5-hour stint, which was really fun. But I want to see more strategy playing a key factor than somebody working with somebody to get to the front and then they just take off. That was fun at the beginning, but now we got guys that have a lot of track time in. They know how to race. They know what works for them, what doesn't work for them. I want us to start doing longer races to where we have more strategy to play out. But in order to do that, you got to move your time frame up a little bit. A lot of these guys, they work. So you race for 4.5 hours, and you got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to work. That's a little brutal. So we're trying to find a happy medium to where we can make that happen.
Yes, exactly. Like you said, I do agree with you. You're never going to be able to please everybody in the world. No matter how much you try or no matter what you do, like you said, you try to make things different, or, you try to spice things up. You try to throw different things in the mix, and even things that you thought people wanted.
I do believe Brian's got some cool ideas that we're going to talk about during the off season, to shake it up and to make it more competitive for these guys. I want to see some old tracks come back into play. Like, even though I really hate Rockingham because I can't get a grasp on it, it is a fun track to race. It's just you have to be very, very consistent there. North Wilkesboro, it took me a minute to get a grasp on that. I don't really do very well there, but it is fun once I get down to warm tires. I like Iowa though. That is a cool track to run. But I mean, I'd like to do old school racing. And this year us incorporating the points to old school racing, it took me a while to get Brian to jump on board on that. But I like it because it gave the guys a chance to just run what they've run Persona, if that makes any sense. They just show up, race to race, and then that's it. Not focus on stages or playoff points. We're gonna do 20 races, flat out. You get your best finish and you keep on rolling with it. And so far it seems to be working out pretty good. So I wouldn't be surprised if that style stays around, Thursday, or maybe carries over to Tuesday. But I mean, I'm very impressed on how Tuesday and Thursdays went this year, and I'm not excluding Saturdays because we've had good races there. But we've actually Tuesdays and Thursdays we put a lot of time in, getting everything situated, and I know you will be behind the scenes there, getting a lot of stuff worked out too. So we got the 48 there, it slid up a little bit and it touched the wall, but we're good to go. But it's just
Philip keeping it straight, just getting up in the wall there, getting up in the gray, and like you said, getting up in the wall.
But I mean, I think next season is going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to have a lot of fast paces.
Oh, I do agree. I can't wait for it, Josh. It's certainly awe-inspiring. Can't wait to see the type of racing that you guys are going to be able to put on, and the show that will bring from it.
Definitely. I do believe there's going to be 3 specialty races that I'm going to put on for these guys. And what I mean by specialty races is we're going to try to go as close to professional as we can, just like the pros do. I'm just going to see who's going to be able to get on board with it, who's got the strong enough internet providers, to have all the different camera angles and everything, to try to get some cool point of views, to compete with some of these leagues out there for, competitive wise, for all different angles and aspects of racing, because we all love racing and we all do this for fun and hobbies, and some of us don't make the money or never had the chance to get behind a car or get under the wheel of a real car. So give everybody a chance to experience it. We're just going to try to reach out as far as we can with different webcams and stuff like that. I think it ought to be a really cool thing next season.
So under 10 laps to go now, 9 laps remaining. Brandon Moore still the race leader, over 6.5 seconds of Jaden Sanchez. Christopher Campbell in third position. Jason Pearson fourth. He's 2.5 seconds back from Christopher Campbell. And Jimmy Hudson, he is the last car on the lead lap in fifth position, 23 seconds back. So it's not completely yet in the danger zone of going a lap down. Don't even know if he will in the closing 8 laps or not. But yes, everything great. Great sentiments to think about and talk about and look forward to in the closing, in the upcoming weeks, I should say. On the BNR side of things, you never know what type of racing is in store for any league, but BNR side of things, always seems to be great racing, always has been, and as far as I'm concerned, probably always will be great racing, whether it be like this race tonight, hard fought green flag battling, from flag to flag, from the initial launch to where we are now, or sometimes, you have those rock'em sock'em races where, you've got so much excitement, you just can't remember what happened from one lap to the next sometimes. But tonight's been another one of those Brandon Moore dominated shows. Once he got eventually back into the clean air, it's been all she wrote, Dear John, for the rest of the competitors.
Yeah, that's what I tell a lot of these guys. Brandon is fast because he's consistent. He knows the ins and outs of his car. He's got a lot of track time in. He knows when his tires are too cold. He knows when they're too hot. And I've just with him a lot, and I've picked up to where when I pass him very easily, I know he's automatically safety. So normally what I do is if I pass him very easily and I get within a second, within the next lap, I back it down and I make sure that he closes the gap, and then I either stay in front of him, or if he passes me, I tail him. And usually if he passes me and I tail him, I usually have a great finish to that race. But he's just one of them guys, man. He's very finesse on the wheel. He's smooth. He's consistent, and he just works. He's very excellent about navigating the field. He gets from the back to the front really fast. But he does it smoothly. He doesn't put himself or other racers in danger when he's making passes in traffic and stuff like that. So, and all that plays a role, throughout the race, and he's usually out on top every time. Looks like we're coming to the white here, Will.
Yes, indeed. White flag waving for everyone involved here tonight. I'd like to thank all the drivers coming out, being a part of this final race for the Thursday side of things and the BNR side season finale. Where is Brandon? Are you maybe able to find him before he gets to the checkered? Probably not, eh?
We're gonna know. Oh yeah, he's on the backstretch. We should be able to catch him.
Oh, okay. There he is, coming into turns 3 and 4 for the final time here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And wrapping up, like I said, things for the Thursday side of things, and he will win here at Atlanta after a dominant performance, setting on the pole and leading the most laps after getting that clean air and just never looking back. Jaden Sanchez, P3, and Christopher Campbell will edge out Jason Pearson for the final step of the podium. but Jason Pearson, like I said earlier, wins the championship tonight.
We'll see if we can get an eye on Brandon here burning it down. Oh! Looks like Brandon sharing the spotlight with the fellow racers down there, telling everybody to burn it down with him. He likes doing that. He likes seeing all the smoke and listening to all the horses run underneath those hoods. I just watched the replay. I watched Jaden smack Brandon. Alright, here's going to be our unofficial results here. We got Brandon Moore coming home with the win, with Mr. Jaden Sanchez with a P2. Good run for him. Mr. Campbell, P3. Jason Pearson, P4. James Hudson, P5. Tyler Myers with a good finish there with the P6. Oh, Justin Steves pulls out a P7. Aaron Bradford with a P8. Mr. Philip Bridgman there with a P9. Pete Woodrum with a P10. Joe Stipe, P11. Skylar, P12. Richard, P13. Matthew Hunsaker, P14. And Mr. Robert Amaral, P15. And Will, I mean, green flag run start to finish, man. And we had a lot of good racing too, man. I think they put on a great show.
Yeah, tremendous race here tonight. What more could you want for in an Atlanta season finale as far as just the racing and the action we had? No cautions, so that's a round of applause by everybody, more than a golf collapse. So, tremendous run.
Most definitely. It looks like we're getting set up here. Get these guys up in the booth here. We'll do the end of race interviews here and see if we can get some laughs out of these guys. There's old Mr. Campbell. How's it going, Chris, there?
Oh, it's going. Good run tonight. Green all the way through.
Oh yeah, me and Will, man. I tell you what, I enjoy listening to Will over here. Will's awesome. He's very informational, and just listen to the excitement to him when he's calling the race is actually a lot of fun. I actually went mute and was just like in awe. I do it every time I'm usually up here with these guys. You had a great run today, Chris. Tell us how from the start of the green flag all the way up now how the race went for you. You know how the pitch strategies played out, and how you were able to capitalize on some of these positions. Because there for a while you dropped a lot of positions, throughout the run.
Yeah, I was just trying to save. That was my main thing. Instead of trouble and save, I'd run several 10-lap practice tire runs during practice, and I knew that if I could run with JP and stay at his pace, that I'd be okay as far as tire wear goes. I was watching those guys after 25 laps. I mean, they were chasing them cars all the way up the hill. So I was just trying to stay with them and stay out of trouble until we got to that last set of green flag stops.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because me and Will, we caught you battling with Hudson midway through the run there, and Will's like, "Oh, we got a heated battle over here," and I tried to change the view, but I don't know how Brian's setup is here, so I had to have Brian bail me out and click on a bunch of things to get it over there. You battled with Hudson for 5 to 10 laps. fill us in on what you were going through and how you were able to keep the car, keep the car's momentum while you guys are battling out, but still not losing time.
Yeah, well, the way it's set up on this track, and I mean, it's if you lose momentum, you can't complete the pass, then it's one of them things. I was just trying to ride with him, and I knew that dirty air is hard here, and if you get in behind it, I mean, you just can't make up any time. So I would ride with him a little while, and I knew eventually he was going to start sliding up the track, and that's eventually what happened. He came down a little low, but I knew he didn't have the tires to hold me down, so I just tried to push a little bit there. I burned a little bit more off doing that than what I had anywhere else.
Yeah, like I said, it was a lot of fun, and we saw you guys do a little squabble there. It looked like when you were on the bottom, and you get a little wiggle there, like you guys made contact, and it was big contact, and it was funny how Will commented. Will's like, "Oh," and he got excited, and it was just, I was like, "Man, we gotta ask him. We'll pull him up here and."
Oh yeah, yeah. He held me down. I mean, to be honest, he held me down a little lower than what I would have liked. But hey, that's like I told JP in Discord. I mean, I don't blame him. I'd have done the same thing. I mean, he shouldn't have to give me the spot. I should have to earn it.
Campbell, what more are you looking forward to next season? Coming about in probably just a month's time. What more could you possibly maybe just look forward to or get next season?
This season was my second season, my first full season to run with BNR, but my second season with these guys. So, I've gotten a lot better at managing my stuff and making it through the end. Last year was horrible. I mean, I had so many DNFs. This year, I mean, that's why I finished second in the points, just being consistent and not trying to chase that fastest lap. And just save my stuff and try to be there at the end, and that's I try to continue to improve on that next year and find my way a little bit, maybe in the victory lane a few more times.
Yes, sir, indeed, Campbell. Best of luck to you next season, and just how much fun, besides the DNFs and stuff that you got caught up in that was just out of your control, how much fun and how much did you enjoy yourself this season, Campbell?
Oh man, it's been a great season. Thursday night's been one of the the races that I've looked forward to every week, and so I mean it's just been and then getting better and running with guys that you can learn from, like JP, Brian, Josh, and even the faster guys like Brandon. Watching what they're doing and knowing that next year is going to be good. We're going to put on a good show. We're going to have got a good group of guys. So it's been a blast.
Well, Campbell, any final thoughts or shout outs, anything else you'd like to add before we let you go celebrate this P3, P2 in the championship, this runner up as well for you?
I'd just like to thank Beardy Bear Custom House, BNR, the broadcast crew, and everybody that puts this on, and looking forward to next year. Stay tuned. We got some, as admin group and the BNR group, we got some fun things coming.
Yes, sir. Can't wait to see what's in store. So we'll holler at you in a bit. Yes, Chris?
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
Jaden Sanchez finishing P2 here this evening on the season finale here at Atlanta. Jaden, tell us about it.
What's up, guys? Yeah, no, it's just all about tire saving pretty much. Just, I had nothing for Brandon, which I expected. I mean, I achieved the best possible result that I wanted to today. But, being in, starting from 6th place, I mean, I just kind of let everybody go by me. I wasn't really gonna push or fight with anyone. Just gonna save the tires for the long run, and yeah, it worked out. Obviously, I didn't save as much as Brandon did, but I got all the important people that I needed to. So, um, yeah, no, that's really it. I mean, shout out to you guys. I mean, you guys, are the best. Shout out to Will for spotting, or not spotting, for broadcasting. Sorry, I was fighting that whole race being sick. So, yeah, no, at one point I was driving with my legs, so that was interesting. But yeah, no, it was a fun race. Hope to do more next season or whenever I'm back from college or whatever. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, Jaden, big congratulations tonight. I know it's not the win, like you said, came up a little bit short to Brandon, but like you said, it was almost to be expected if he was going to be in the race, which he was. Um, what were you struggling with, or what were you maybe fighting with tonight? We saw the track temperature wasn't really like scorching out there, so we didn't really see too many people fighting with look like ill handling cars, but what more besides the tires? Like here at Atlanta, we know, the tires it's just a cheese grater, so to speak. But uh, what more could you have needed?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What more could you have needed maybe to have something for Brandon? Maybe like a caution on the closing laps, or what were you struggling with possibly?
I wasn't really struggling with anything. To be fair, what I needed was for someone to unplug his Wi-Fi router. But yeah, no, it was good. I mean, I didn't struggle. I wasn't loose that whole race at all. I mean,
Right.
to be fair though, I expected to not be as fast because I don't do A class cars anymore really that often. I'm more like a truck guy and a short track guy. But yeah, no, it was interesting because other than road courses, because those are just normal to me. I don't think I've last completed like an actual like oval that I was comfortable with since like Daytona earlier in the year. So yeah, no, it's been interesting. I'm actually surprised that I had the most wins actually this season in all three series except for trucks. But yeah, it feels nice though to be high on that note, being a winningest driver. Obviously, not winning a championship is a bummer, but it's whatever. It's life. I'll get over it. And yeah, there's always next year. So
Yes, sir. Always next year, indeed. So set some goals and uh, challenges for yourself, and hopefully, you can get those goals. Everything is always achievable and attainable. Final thoughts, shout outs, anything else you'd like to add or give before we let you go celebrate this P2 finish tonight there, Jaden?
yeah, again, shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome, and everyone that showed up tonight. So, but yeah, it was a good season. So excited to see what we have next year.
Yes, sir. Same here. Well, Jaden, thanks for talking to us, and congratulations again on the P2 finish tonight, bud.
Thank you.
Also, great season Jaden had, like he noted on himself. So now, race winner, we'll hopefully talk to JP, the championship winner, after Brandon. Brandon Moore, the race winner here in Victory Lane. Brandon, so just a dominant performance after you let the tires start to cool in. You got the temp built up in the tires after everybody was like, kung fu fooey around you, just getting by you. You're like, go ahead, do that. I'm just gonna watch you bring your stuff up. You got by everybody that wanted to be the rabbit and start just running out away, and then you chased them back down only about 15 laps later. You dealt with everybody, you got that clean air, and then you drove away into your own area code here around Atlanta. Tell us how you did it. How do you be so smooth and consistent? Does it have a lot to do with the track conditions? What does it take, Brandon?
I mean, it really just takes the discipline to know, how to, take what the track's going to give you. Not overdriving the car, not trying to pull out to a big, huge lead in the beginning of it. Just giving the, taking what the track's going to give you. You start overdriving the corners and start burning the right front, or overdriving the exit, burning the right rear, and It just creates a real ill handling race car, for a long run. But yeah, like you said, we just kind of settled in when we just kind of found a pace to where we weren't going to be losing too much time. We were just kind of pacing back, 5, 6 seconds back. We really never started pushing to, really overtake the other cars. I just kind of kept the same pace, and eventually they just kind of fell back to me, and we just, sailed off, and she drove good. Just never really over pushed, and just kept the lead.
Yes, sir. Like you talk about, you just got to be smooth. You just don't
Yeah,
overdo
smooth
it.
is
Don't
everything.
Yeah,
Everything, especially on the
Especially
entry of
here.
the corner and the exit of the corners. It just means so much because you can scrub so much tire if you're overdriving the entry, especially in one, and then you can also burn the right rear, and exit a 4 would be a real easy spot to do that. So it's kind of like a balancing act. It's kind of like balancing a beam, trying to keep it even, like a teeter totter, keeping it even. It's kind of like the how you're balancing the car.
Yes, sir. Well, tell us how much fun you had racing this season, and also what are you going to be looking forward to the most next season, Brandon?
I think we ran good this year. It kind of sucks not running all the races. Missing a few events to make some real life NASCAR races and join it with some friends and whatnot. But overall, very happy with what performance we had with the races we showed up at. I'm not sure how many wins in this series that we logged, but we had a few. So and as far as next season, look forward to that. I know it's up in there if we're going to have a fixed cup on top of an open cup, but I'm looking forward to whatever our fixed side turns into next year, and sure it should be interesting and good fun to watch it for the people at home.
Yes, sir. I can't wait to see what's in store and watch myself and everything else that comes to boot. Um, you know, we still got 2 more races left, I do believe, on the Saturday side of things, so not completely finished, right? But for sure, over here we are done for a little while on the Thursday side of things, Brandon. Um, what more could we say or do or speak of? I mean, your car was pretty much on rails. Like I said, you qualified on the pole, so you got the pole. You dominated the race and won the race. Just was there anyone in particular you were kind of eyeing on in the field that you were like kind of keeping an eye on to see who might be really like the closest competitor? Richard, before he kind of smacked the wall, he was kind of staying within reason with you.
Yeah, Richard was running real good. He was on a little bit different tire strategy before he had his little mishap. But he was right up there with us. After, he kind of had his deal, then I was just kind of keeping an eye on Jaden, see what Jaden was doing with his strategy. And I just kind of looking at the relative, trying to keep the same gap, not to try to overdrive the car, and just keep lengthening the gap, just trying to keep it steady. And then, we'd pretty much stay fairly even throughout the run. And then, of course, I know Jaden, he's trying to probably push to, decrease that gap, and then he kind of burned his stuff off, and then we just kind of lengthen the gap out even a little bit more, even though he wasn't pushing as hard. But yeah, just mainly looking at those two guys and making sure we stay on top of their strategies as well.
Well, Brandon, thanks for talking to us tonight. Big congratulations on the win here to close out the fixed side of things like you talked about. Any final thoughts, shout outs, anything else you'd like to add before we let you go?
Yeah, just happy with the win. One of my favorite racetracks, best Atlanta is the old Atlanta. So anytime that we do get to come out here, it's a track that I look forward to and I want to run good at. Just a real drivers oriented track, to keep the car under you and keep the tires on it. But yeah, I want to thank the broadcast booth Thank the competitors for coming out. Thank to everybody who came out to watch at home. Yeah, real tickled with the season, happy with the win, and look forward to next season, and hopefully we'll have just as good results.
Well, yes, sir, indeed. Brandon, thanks for talking to us yet again. Congratulations on the win here tonight at Atlanta, and be seeing more of you next season for sure.
That sounds great. Thank you all so much. Everybody have a good night.
Well, Josh, I think we got JP somewhere around. We can talk to our championship winner, and then we'll call it a night. JP, big dog, whoa, whoa. Yeah, you do a lot better than I do. I'm not good at the dog. I'm good at doing cartoon voices, yes, but dog, yes. Anyway, so, excellent season you had, Mr. Consistent. You didn't really have too many DNFs that I can remember. You had a couple, but not too many to really knock you out of contention of running for the championship, right? So a lot of consistent finishes, a lot of great runs on your side, right? So just tell us about your season, winning the championship here, and what that means to you overall as well, Jason.
Yeah, I think we had a hell of a run this year. This is my first competitive year on iRacing in any league, and I think we showed up each and every week and pretty much accomplished our goals of what we strive for. Just basically a top 5, just and go from there. I mean, pulled out one win at Long Beach and stayed pretty consistent there at the beginning of the season, and it carried us on top, and we just carried on with that momentum on to the second half of the season. And it really paid out. I'm happy with it.
And tell us as a driver standpoint or point of view, what it takes to be that consistent week in and week out, race after race.
It definitely takes a lot of dedication, man. A lot of practice. I mean, there's a lot of competitive guys in this league, and as you can see, Brandon and Jaden. I mean, they're top-notch guys, and it's very competitive to run with them. And I look forward to running with them. I mean, you need guys like that to help you get a little bit better. I mean, you can practice 200 or 300 laps, but I mean, until you run with guys like that and just be able to learn just that little bit more, I mean, it'll carry you tremendously in each and every week. And I just stayed focused, one race at a time. That's mainly all you can do. And just try to stay out of trouble. I mean, you might have to run in the back there a lot of laps just to make sure you got a good, clean finish there at the end, and usually it pays off doing that. And I think we've had a fast car all year. I mean, we've kept our head into it, and we practiced multiple days during the week, and we take full advantage of the practice before the sessions. And I mean, it really does pay off to practice, just running laps, clocking them down. And we've had some great tracks this season. I've learned quite a few, and I've had a blast. But it takes really some good guys like this, good competition. I think it's what really makes a good driver out of anybody, really. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people made some big progress throughout the year, and but I've had a blast doing it, man. I really have.
It's been a heck of a thing to sit here and watch you and everybody else, all your competitors, fight for these wins or fight for these great finishes week in and week out. What more could you have maybe had to have get that P3 away from Campbell tonight? There was some lap cars, different strategies afoot, right? And was it the dirty air playing a big part of not being able to run down Campbell, or like I said, maybe just the different strategies? What was it, Jason?
Yeah, I wish the lap cars there, they had a pretty good run too. AB, he was running some smooth lines there, and it's just I caught up with him pretty good. Which Campbell, he had a fast car all race. I knew as soon as he creeped up in the top 7 there, and he started clocking them down one by one, and then he had an awesome getting on pit road and getting off right there in front of me, and which I knew he was going to be up there. I figured he might be up there in contention for a win or second place with Jaden. But yeah, once I hit them lap cars, it was like I hit a brick wall. That dirty air, I mean, you wouldn't think it would play that much of a part, but you think you'll have the exit just perfect, and all of a sudden that dirty air says no, and then it just slings you way up, and you try to correct it, and you end up getting loose coming off the exit. I mean, it really upset the car a lot, and it just made me where I couldn't make no passes, and it's really hard to make a pass down on the inside there, trying to get that run going, not collide with the car on the outside of you while carrying the same momentum, and you just have to let out of it. And you can't make no passes like that.
Exactly.
Definitely burn them tires up on that outside line if you keep running it consistent. I mean, it's just Atlanta for you. Hot Atlanta. It really loves to burn some tires up here.
Yeah, hot Atlanta, like you just said, very, very great driver's track, so to speak. So, maybe looking forward to hopefully going back to back in the Thursday side of things next season, Jason.
That's some big goals right there. We'll take it like we did this season. We'll take it one race at a time, and hopefully we'll be there at the end.
Yes, sir. Well, final thoughts, shout-outs, anything else you'd like to add before we let you go celebrate this championship and another top 5 run tonight?
Shout out to BNR for putting us all on and keeping us together here every week, having some great races, putting them on the broadcast booth for letting the world to see the fun that we have, and hopefully we get to put a blast on for them. Yeah, all my friends and family, all the competitors, Big Dogs Gaming. Tom, appreciate you, brother. I know you out there. Appreciate Chris for giving me a hell of a run down on the stretch, like the past 10 races, keeping it close and keeping us on our toes. But yeah, appreciate everybody, man. Arf, 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 arf.
Well, Jason, catch up with you in a bit. Congratulations on the championship again, and we'll be seeing you a lot more, next season as well.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one.
Well, Josh, that'll do it for us here tonight. Thank you, Josh, stepping in for Brian. Brian, under the weather, not feeling well. Past couple of days, hopefully he gets a lot better. Pneumonia, flu, sickness going around a lot here recently. Hopefully, that stops going around and plaguing people. Anywho, so thanks to, once again, all the drivers coming out throughout all the weeks in the past 25 weeks. I believe it's only been 20 weeks. Anyway, the past 20 weeks, 20 Thursdays, here on the BNR Bearded Bear Customs Fixed side of things. Big congratulations to Jason Pearson, your championship winner, over here in that 13 machine, that Chevrolet Camaro. And then Brandon Moore, your race winner tonight. Big congratulations to Brandon. And just thanks once again to everybody coming out, being a part, tuning in, and all the racers and competitors for putting on these races. Without the competitors coming out and being a part, putting on the show, it would not be a show to bring on to the fans at home that come in and tune in and cheer on your favorite BNR competitor in any series or whatever series or race or league we're showing you on the BNR Racing Network. Anyway, so we'll be coming back. Well, actually, we won't be back until next Wednesday, hopefully, for the SRU Xfinity Series side of things. We're off until we kick everything back up on the BNR side of things. We got just a couple of more races left on the Saturday side of things on the 1-5 Studios YouTube channel, and then take a little hiatus there again, like we talked about. So then, like I said, hopefully everybody will have a wonderful and safe and good night.